Welcome to the show. I am so excited to have the Reverend Aaron Zimmerman here with us today. We're going to talk about his work at St. Albans Episcopal Church in Waco, and really your background is so fascinating. You, your life has taken you from Houston
Mhm.
to Mexico City to Stockholm, Kazakhstan, Harvard, and beyond. And man, an amazing background we're going to talk about. But at this time of year, Reverend, I want to talk about Advent, talk
Mm.
about the season we're in, and how we can make more of it. How we can really, take the meaning of the Christmas season to heart. So welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Anne. Glad to be here. And thanks for mentioning my totally logical, well-planned path that has ended now at Waco,
A
Texas. That
bit
was the plan.
circuitous, maybe,
Yeah, a little bit, a
to
few
get here.
detours.
Okay,
Yeah,
with so many different countries, Mexico, well, you were in Washington, D.C., and
yeah,
Stockholm, L.A., and you settled in North Carolina. I mean, some that I didn't even mention.
yeah.
So, how did this global upbringing kind of shape your views on the ministry?
That's a great question, and one that I don't get asked a lot. Most people say, "What were you doing? Running from the
Why?
law or fleeing bankruptcy?" I uh, I think the moving around, and some of it was obviously in my childhood, not my choice. That was my dad's
Sure,
job,
yeah.
and then after that, though, I did have some agency in that. The thing that I got from all of it, I think, is an ability to adjust quickly to new situations and to interact with all kinds of people and when you're always the new kid in school, you learn to adapt quickly. And I think, kids that grow up with military parents have a
I was going to say,
similar,
was it the military
right?
that?
Yeah. And also, PAs, preachers. So
Yeah.
my kids have had to do that. And so I think in terms of how it affects my ministry, one, I'm good with, I think, lots of different kinds of people. Two, I'm good with change, and ministry is all about change. You hope to see institutions change, people change, all those things. And I think the other thing, having a global perspective changes the way I read the scriptures. I am very aware, having lived in different cultures and felt like that fish out of water,
Mm-hmm.
and back to the Advent and Christmas themes, to think about God, this whole story of God coming into an environment that was not what he was used to go from being the second person of the Trinity, the Son of God, eternally begotten, beyond time, and then to find oneself in a cow saliva encrusted manger, being poked by bits of straw, and to be in a place where you are now, socially speaking, at the bottom of the ladder, and that incarnational move of God to be with people. Gosh, to even in a little way to have been put in a place where I felt like a fish out of water, to feel that uh, cultural clash. And even just to read things in the scriptures which go from the ancient Near East and the Babylonian Empire to then the Roman Empire, and just knowing that these worlds in the early church was full of people from all different nationalities and
Mm-hmm.
backgrounds. So I think having that perspective helps how I read the scriptures.
So does this global perspective kind of figure into your preaching?
Yes, it does, in that it helps me, I think, contextualize what I am doing. So, and I'm taking a page from St. Paul and from Jesus in the New Testament. They told stories that related to the people that they spoke to, and they used illustrations from culture. St. Paul is famous for quoting, kind of pagan poets when he's trying to reach out to the people in the Roman Empire, the Gentile audiences, the Greek audience he was speaking to. So I think when you're communicating cross culturally, which I think, even though I am someone who speaks English in the United States as an American citizen, that may not seem cross cultural. But when you're speaking about a text from the Bible, which was written in a different language
Sure.
thousands of years ago in a completely different culture, you have to make it connect to folks. So I think using illustrations is so key, and being able to know your own environment, your own culture. So I think that's not something that I necessarily consciously did, but I think having lived in other cultures and felt like
Hmm.
I don't know what's going on here, I'm confused, I don't speak the language, I feel anxious because I don't know all the cultural unwritten rules. Having that experience, I know that many people have that experience in church today.
Yeah.
because there's so many folks that don't go to church anymore who have very little, if any, Bible knowledge. And in my tradition, the Episcopal Church, it's even weirder. It's like stepping onto a Klingon battleship or something, because yeah, it's just
You have a book that you
we
follow.
have a book that you have to, there's these prayers written down, and
Uh-huh.
there's stained glass and all these things that people aren't used to in churches
Yeah,
these
yeah,
days.
yeah.
And we have a robed choir, and I'm wearing robes. And so it just feels very weird. So I'm about helping people connect. So church and in general, and this idea of God becoming man in particular, these are weird ideas, cross-cultural ideas. And so you have to find ways to make it connect.
Yeah, and you're masterful at that. I've been able to hear
Thank
you
you.
preach a few times.
Please, Anne, just
Yeah,
continue.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, but you studied the history of science
Yeah.
at Harvard,
Yes.
and later you worked in Kazakhstan and at Harvard Business School, and also Heinz in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Okay, so what did these experiences teach you about people and leadership and calling?
So I had become very active personally in my faith, had kind of an awakening spiritually when I was in high school, and got to college, got to Harvard, which was a place that was founded to train ministers.
So the first school, wasn't
Yeah,
it? It was the
the
first.
motto now of Harvard is Veritas,
Yeah,
truth. You
yeah,
see it on
right.
the T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
But the original motto was Veritas Christo et Ecclesiae, truth
Yeah.
for Christ and His church,
Mm-hmm.
and it was to train Puritan ministers. But the best way to end up secular is to start very religious, and the best way to end up religious is to start very secular.
Mm-hmm.
And my upbringing was pretty secular. And I became obviously a religious person. I'm now a professional religious person. But so getting to Harvard, it was a place where my faith was not an asset, and it made me weird. So there were and are very many people at Harvard of deep faith, Christian faith and other faiths. And some of my most important mentors were Harvard faculty and students who were very faithful Christians.
It's good to know.
And yeah, it is the godless Harvard thing. It's
No,
not
no, no,
nearly as
that is good
godless
to
as
know.
you
Yeah,
would think. Yeah.
yeah.
And the but I think it's. I mean, if you come to Baylor as a Christian, it's like
Right.
that wins you points. Like it's expected.
It should be, yeah,
And
yeah.
and nobody will look at you funny if you tell them you went to church on Sunday.
Right.
At Harvard, with a lot of my friends, it was a little bit different, and so I had to learn again how to communicate cross-culturally. How do you communicate to someone that has never met a person who actually believes in God? That all their parents' friends and their own friends at whatever institutions they went to, it wasn't part of their life. So I think that was the first thing. History of science, I fell into
I've
sort
never
of
heard of that
accidentally.
as a study, a field of
Well,
study.
they say AI is the big boom, but I think really history of science could be the next moneymaker in the 20. No, I'm kidding. It's probably not. It's one of those majors I didn't know existed. It's seen as, liberal arts kind of gets a bad rap, as not, you won't make much money and it's not very useful. People can, but I find it so important for what I'm doing now. And then I realized science in college is really just math, and I don't like math. So I looked in the course catalog, what else can I study? And I read this description, history of science. How does the scientific pursuit begin? Where does it come from? What does it do? How's it changed? And I had always been really interested in
That's
that.
fascinating.
Too much PBS as a kid, I think, is what led to that.
Yeah.
My mom made me watch all these documentaries. And so what I learned, you start with this introductory course that goes from Greek philosophers all the way through Einstein, covering thousands of years of people trying to figure out how the world works. And as you do that, what you realize is that every single person who's trying to figure out how the world works, whether it's the Greek philosophers, whether you go from Aristotle to the folks in the Middle Ages, Arabic scholars, all the way through the 21st century, almost every single person is a believer in God of some kind, and most of it, the monotheistic God that we would be familiar with. And they don't see a division between the spiritual world and the so-called natural or physical world. And they are doing their work explicitly in an attempt to understand what the Creator is doing. Einstein talked a lot about God and his role in creation and sustaining all of it. Isaac Newton, 90% of all his writings were theological and scriptural writings. The gravity in physics and inventing calculus, that was like a side project, but really he was interested in when was Jesus coming back and what would the next world be like. So going through that gave me a way to understand how to put together the scientific approach and the spiritual approach to the world, and that they don't have to be at odds. They really do. They're not two different things. They overlap and enmesh. And so many people in churches have questions about science and how do we understand things like human origins and
Hmm.
evolution? How do we understand the beginning of the cosmos? How do we, these questions are very live today. People think about, and not to get partisan or political, but one could see the current debate about vaccines. It's a place where there's scientific folks, but then there's other folks saying, well, for some other reasons, I don't feel good about it because of some social reasons, maybe some personal spiritual reasons. There's all these things kind of blend together. This is science and religion. It's always a live conversation.
Hmm.
The topics change, but it's always live. And being able to think through those things from a scriptural perspective, historical perspective, academic perspective, and knowing some of the science behind it as well. These phones in our pockets, it's science.
Yeah.
And yet we use them to read the Bible or get a motivational verse sent to us every day. So
Hmm.
science and religion coming together. So I think those things really help me as I preach, as I teach, and as I meet with people who want to who are having those crises of faith, or how do we fit those things together? And so that's been really helpful. So I fell into it by accident, but it's been hugely important for what I
Yeah,
do
that
now.
that is fascinating. It was just new to me. Was there a particular time, though, a season you can pinpoint when you felt the shift toward your work as a minister, for this as a calling for you professionally?
Well, the first time I felt it was in high school, and that's pretty common. Most people in ministry have that little tap on the shoulder,
Yeah.
often in their youth, and you see that in the Bible. Samuel's called to ministry when he's a kid. The first nudge was in high school, and I thought that it was a wrong number. It was a spam phone call, and so I hung up. And then I spent 4 years in college. Part of going to Kazakhstan, I went with a faith-based organization to do work in universities and taught English and did a lot of extracurricular work there with technology, language, other things. But part of that was to get experience doing something, serving other people, and to test that call. It still took me a while to ultimately go to seminary and do that, but it was doing that work overseas, cross-culturally, talking about things that really matter, things of life and death and eternity. I thought that there's nothing more important that I would want to spend my life doing.
Mm.
And that was so it was and one of the reasons also I went so far away was to get away from all the distractions and the rat race, essentially, to be able to hear a little bit better. Is God really calling me to this, and is this something that I could do? So that was part of that process. But as you know, I still had some other stops along the way. You mentioned my work at Harvard Business School, my
Hmm.
work at H.J. Heinz, now Kraft Heinz. So I had these times where I dabbled in both academia and in corporate world. And I think those were my last ditch attempts. I think I'm going to seminary, but let me see
Yeah.
if and in both of those worlds, I enjoyed the work. I loved the work. It helped me now doing what I do now. I can read an income statement and I can write a good memo and all those sorts of things. But but I but I knew that I wasn't fully. I didn't feel like all the pieces were interlocking. If you ever try to jam a jigsaw puzzle piece in a place that almost fits but not
Not
quite,
quite.
that's how those jobs felt. And when
Mhm.
I ultimately was ordained and in congregational work in a church, for the first time in my life, I felt like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
At Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat, we're proud to be your premier destination in Waco. Exceptional automotive service. Whether you're searching for a new vehicle, a quality pre-owned car, or dependable service and parts, our team is here to take care of you every step of the way. Visit Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Waco, where great deals, friendly service, and your next ride are waiting. Come by, let's be friends.
The Christmas season is in full swing, and for the Salvation Army, this means organizing the kettles, coordinating bell ringers, and collecting thousands of gifts from the Angel Tree program. The Salvation Army says that volunteers are desperately needed to support officers and staff during this extremely busy time. Funds raised at the Red Buckets outside community stores during the Christmas season go to support many of the programs provided by the organization during the year. If you would like to volunteer, you can go to www.registertoring.com, enter your city, select a day, time, a location, and that's it. You're ready to ring. The Salvation Army says that volunteer bell ringer shifts are ongoing through December 24th. Zimmerman Law Firm is covering Uber, Lyft, and cab rides to ensure your safety this New Year's Eve. They are proud to present their free holiday ride-sharing cab program that rewards your good behavior. If you decide to go out and drink over the holidays, make the responsible choice and take an Uber, Lyft, or cab ride home, and Zimmerman Law Firm will reimburse you for the ride. They are working to make our community safer and help everyone get home for the new year. I'm Elizabeth Riley with Act Locally Waco, and I will see you later.
A big thank you to our sponsor, Fox & Co. Bakery. Check them out for delicious baked goods and your catering needs.
Serving Central Texas since 1889, TFNB Your Bank for Life takes pride in being more than a bank. TFNB, we remain committed to these principles. If you value them too, come join us. TFNB, your bank for life.
It's football season, and we can create your outdoor tailgating spaces that is actually a part of your home. Bifold doors that tie in the inside and the outside, and you can gain anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 square feet living space, all while taking in the big game, poolside. Call us at Gather & Co. Kitchen and Bath, where we can create your unique tailgating space.
Hey Waco, meet your new favorite email. It's called the Waco Buzz, the local newsletter that skips crime and chaos and gets straight to the good stuff. New restaurants, hidden gems, weekend events, and stories that make you proud to call Waco home. It's quick, free, and written by people who love Waco as much as you do. Join thousands of neighbors who already start their mornings with the Waco Buzz at thewacobuzz.com.
So you did go to Trinity Episcopal School for Ministry. Where is
Yes.
that?
It's outside of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And it's rebranded, renamed. It's Trinity Anglican Seminary now. I think they felt like it was too many syllables and too much of a mouthful. But in an old steel town, and they started in the 1970s, sort of a scrappy young seminary in the Episcopal Church, born out of the charismatic renewal and all that sort of stuff, and originally housed in a now converted A&P grocery store.
Really?
But it was a great place to develop colleagues in ministry. They're still friends to this day, if you can believe it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can believe it. So what drew you to St. Albans in Waco, Texas?
The Holy Spirit / the Bishop of Texas and the people of St. Albans. So I had served a church in Pittsburgh for 3 years, kind of my rookie season, and then had worked at a large Episcopal church in Houston for 2 years. I went from a church that was, maybe 800 people on a Sunday, my first job, and I was a junior pastor on staff, and then to the largest Episcopal church in the country. George H.W. Bush and Barbara were members, and Secretary of State Jim Baker, and 2,000 people on a Sunday. It was and it was a big deal.
Really?
So, kind of felt like being drafted by the Yankees, and learned a lot there, and was really grateful. And I shouldn't say the Yankees. That is, I'm a Red Sox fan through and through from my years in Boston. But I went there to learn, and I felt like I learned a lot. And the bishop said, I think you should take a look at this job in Waco. This position's come open, and one thing led to another, and here I am. We visited, in our tradition, for our Baptist and non-denom listeners, they've seen bishops in movies, but they've never met one in real life. In the Episcopal Church, we have bishops who are not there to control our lives or to make things difficult. They're there to be the pastor to the pastors. And so they are, and most of them are really good at doing that, caring for the people who are running the congregations. And so when the bishop says, I think you should take a look, you don't have to, but it's good to. And if I had said I don't feel a call, then that would have been fine. But it was a loving and I think inspired suggestion. We came up here, met the folks at the church, said our prayers. They liked us, we liked them, and it's been an incredible and fruitful, fun journey.
Well, I know many of the people
Yep.
who attend St. Albans and have for many years, and to see how that church has changed
That's
since
right.
you've been there with the growth. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing, and the beautiful changes within the church. My friend Florence
Yeah.
Gassler Scattergood, of course, very involved and instrumental in some of those major changes
Yeah. Shout
that
out to
have
Florence.
happened.
Yeah.
Shout out to Florence, yeah. And of course, she plays the carillon. We've done
Yeah.
stories about the wonderful bells and the performances that she does there with the carillon. But so what has happened? How has it grown?
So, Waco is a largely Baptist and non-denominational town in terms of numbers. That's most of the folks here. And I've learned so much about the many different flavors of Baptist. There's
Oh
so many
yeah.
different kinds. It's like Baskin Robbins.
Mhm.
So I know that is not a monolithic group, but that's the tradition that a lot of people come from. So the
Yeah.
Episcopal Church, we're always going to be a bit player on the religious scene in Waco, where you have, I think, 300 Baptist church and 3 Episcopal churches. So we are maybe an acquired taste. But we were a church, when I got to St. Albans, 2 services on Sunday, 150 people on a Sunday,
Yeah.
and now 5 services on a Sunday and about 500 people on a Sunday. So that makes us in the top 30 nationally of the Episcopal Church in terms of Sunday attendance. And we're one of, I think, about 20 churches that has seen growth of 10% or more. And so we have felt that there is a real space for what we do. And I think one of the beauties of the Christian tradition, like any religious tradition, is its diversity. So you have in Judaism, your Reform, your Orthodox, etc. In the Baptist world, you have your independents, your fundamentalists, your primitive, your missionary Baptists, and your all kinds, Southern Baptists, American Baptists, etc. And the Episcopal Church, I think one of our gifts is, as you've mentioned, kind of our worship is liturgical, a little bit more formal. The music generally is hymns and other works that go back hundreds, if not thousands of years to the earliest days of Christianity. And people may think we look a little bit like what they've seen about the Catholic Church. Our buildings are similar. The clergy wear vestments. We have communion every Sunday. All those things. It's a more formal service. But I think for some people, that seems to really be a help. If you want a service that feels a little bit more meditative, there's one person described it to me as the verticality of the service, not the horizontality. The horizontal is sort of the preacher up front kind of talking to you. There's a horizontal plane of communication. The verticality being the person talking to God and God talking to the person. And, I think a church should healthily have both. But I think we emphasize that vertical dimension, which people feel is transcendent, or there's a real, I don't know, spiritual vibe, I would say, to
Yeah.
use kind of more modern terminology. But also, I think to your question about the growth, we want it to be accessible. We want that cross-cultural communication, trying to take something that feels old, ancient, maybe off-putting, weird, anxiety-producing at first, and we try to make it so that people can enter into it and feel connected and to preach the gospel. And I think, if I could say that, what is the reason for the growth? The world is weary of hearing messages of try harder to get better.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of well-meaning churches say that, and they'll add a scripture verse or two, but you leave feeling like, okay, I've got to do something. My to-do list just got longer, and that is exhausting.
Yeah.
And what we try to emphasize is what Jesus said in the Gospels, Matthew's Gospel, "Come to me all who are weary, and I will give you rest." And we want you to leave St. Albans feeling like you've had a burden removed as opposed to an additional one placed upon you, with a little joy, a little laughter, a little connection to God, hopefully a big connection to God, and to some people who were nice to you. And so hopefully you come back. And I think that's part of the secret sauce. We like that if you can laugh and cry on a Sunday at St. Albans, I think we've done our job.
And you've got some wonderful services coming up for Advent. Want to talk more with you about Advent, but we need to take a break right now. And when we come back, we will hear some of your thoughts of how to really incorporate the meaning of the season into our lives. Stay with us. There's more of the show ahead. Today's show is brought to you by the Wild Watusi Boutique. Go and check them out in Hewitt, just down from George's. Stay with us.
Serving Central Texas since 1889, TFNB Your Bank for Life takes pride in being more than a bank. At TFNB, we remain committed to these principles. If you value them too, come join us. TFNB, Your Bank for Life.
It's football season, and we can create your outdoor tailgating spaces that is actually a part of your home. Bifold doors that tie in the inside and the outside, and you can gain anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 square feet living space, all while taking in the big game, poolside. Call us at Gather & Co. Kitchen and Bath, where we can create your unique tailgating space.
Send money abroad in just a few steps with Remitly. Sign up with your email, enter an amount, choose how your loved ones receive the money, enter your recipient's information, select a payment method, hit send, and relax. Download the Remitly app today.
It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com.
At Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat, we're proud to be your premier destination in Waco for exceptional automotive service. Whether you're searching for a new vehicle, a quality pre-owned car, or dependable service and parts, our team is here to take care of you every step of the way. Visit Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Waco with great deals, friendly service, and your next ride are waiting. Come by, let's be friends.
A journey into new thoughts, new cultures, new adventures. So what are you waiting for? Start your journey with Babbel now. Go to babbel.com or download the app.
And we are back with the Reverend Aaron Zimmerman, who is the rector at St. Albans Episcopal Church. And this is Advent. Here we are. We're not too many days off from Christmas, but let's talk about what does this season really mean to a Christian? What should it mean?
It's something that I think many Christians are rediscovering. In the Episcopal Church, Catholic Church, churches like ours that are more liturgical and follow the church year, it's something that never went away, but it seems like in the United States, many Christians grew up in Christian churches and traditions that this wasn't really a big part of what they did. But it seems to be connecting with people because it's not just about the calendars where you open the little doors and find the chocolates.
Find a chocolate, yeah.
It's not just about getting ready for baby Jesus. In the early days of the church, they said Advent, this time of preparation, is not just about remembering the first arrival of Jesus, his first advent. It is about that in part, but also about looking towards the second advent, the return of Christ. So you're doing two things at the same time. The result of that is there is an encouragement from the church to do some self-examination, to do some reflection. And I think one of the reasons it's become so, in our services, it gets a little quieter. If we have a lot of pyrotechnics, we're going to tone it down. If we have a lot of lasers, we're going to turn them off. If we are, we have, a small thing is we have flowers on our altar every Sunday, big, beautiful arrangements. In Advent, it just goes to greenery, evergreens, just
Okay.
a simple arrangement.
And there's spiritual meaning behind
Yeah,
it.
and it's
It's my understanding there are so many of the traditional things. Well, the Advent wreath, obviously,
right,
and the three purple candles and the one pink
right,
candle and the
right.
white Christ candle in the middle.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. They all have real deep meanings.
And those meanings have changed over time. In the old days, those four candles were to represent heaven, hell, death, and judgment, industrial strength. And when I
Really?
say like self-reflection, it's probably good for people to think about the brevity of life and eternal things. I think in the late 20th century, it got rebranded, because people wanted it it's a little heavy. So it's like hope, faith, joy, cookies, I think are now the 4 Sundays no, there's no cookie Sunday, but there
No,
should
I don't
be.
think so.
But I think, so the invitation is to realize that Jesus came once and he will come a second time. And that should be something, as we say in one of our prayers, that we may rejoice without shame or fear at his appearing. So it's not you should be terrified, but that you, because of the grace of God and what God has done in Christ, that we can be excited with anticipation that our fear and shame have been removed by what God has done in Christ. That's the story we tell. And so Advent is a time to reflect on that in a season when everything in the world tells you that you should actually pick up the pace, or even if they don't tell you directly, that's how it feels. This month of December is a time when we are spending more, eating more, partying more, running
Oh, yeah.
around more. It just gets sort of nuts. And Advent, in the church at least, is an oasis, a refuge, and maybe a place to breathe a little bit. And that's what we try to do in our services and create that space for reflection. And I think it's a welcome remedy.
That's kind of the best way to slow down from the hectic pace
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
experiencing.
I think that's the hope, at least, and we do that in the music communicates that message, the scriptures communicate that message, and even the slightly more toned down feeling in our services communicate that. No less impactful, powerful, connecting, but a little more reflective, I think.
Are there particular traditions or scriptures or things that are especially meaningful to you?
Yeah, I mean the one I just mentioned, which we say
Obviously,
every
the
Sunday, like without shame or fear,
right.
rejoice to behold his appearing. I think people are really afraid, and people feel a lot of shame a lot of the time. So that's something that is meaningful to me in our services. We have a special service during the season of Advent called Lessons and Carols,
Yeah.
and that's coming up on December 21st, Sunday evening at 5:30. And this is a tradition that goes back over 100 years. The story goes that a pastor, an Anglican clergyman in Cambridge, England, wanted to keep men out of pubs on Christmas Eve, and so created this service to hopefully draw them in with some beautiful singing. So lessons, meaning scripture lessons, and carols, songs of the season. And so for over 100 years, starting in Cambridge and now throughout the world, any place where there is a Episcopal or Anglican church likely has a service like this. And it's a reading of scripture, starting the Old Testament and then going to the New. So scripture, song, scripture, song, scripture, song. And some of the songs are hymns sung by the congregation. Some of them are songs sung by the choir. The readers are, in our tradition, usually both pastors of the church, lay people of the church, and representatives of the wider community, leaders in the community. So we've had former Waco mayors, current mayors, Jim Holmes read last year. We've had Coach Dave Aranda read. We've had Baylor faculty, the head of Waco ISD, all these folks. So
Aw.
it's a community-wide thing, and it's probably one of our most well-attended services all year, and it's really beautiful.
Yeah, so how many can you seat? in the
It
sanctuary?
depends if people sit on laps or not, but we usually
As you said, you're
cram.
up to 5 services on a
Yeah,
Sunday. Yeah.
don't tell the
Come
health
early, in other
department, but
words.
yeah, come early, and we fill every seat. We fit extra pews. We can fit a little over 300 people in there
Mm-hmm.
if we all hold our breath, and so and we do fill it up. And as I said, we create some extra seating opportunities.
Yeah.
We do live stream the service, so people can watch online.
Okay.
Just find us on Facebook or YouTube at St. Albans Waco, and then we do offer for folks who would like to live stream but together and feel that they're there. We have overflow seating in our parish hall where people can watch it there on the screens.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we have a reception afterwards for food and merriment, and so people are invited to stay for that.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. That's internxt.com today.
And pace.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator. Welcome to Kitbag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, for true football passion, think Kitbag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's kitbag.com. Kitbag. Since 2014, we've been creating vegan, clean, and affordable skincare with proven actives and potent botanicals designed to treat your ever-changing skin. Celebrate our first decade of transformation today at facetheory.com/US-EN. Face Theory.
Tasmanian spring water range from Sand and Sky. This range is really good for dry and dehydrated skin like myself, packed with 2 types of hyaluronic acid, fermented sea kelp to reduce redness, and my skin feels so dewy and so hydrated.
And of course, Christmas Eve. That's a beautiful service there.
It is. I think the Episcopal Church, when you come to our services for Christmas Eve, it looks like what you've seen in the movies. It's sort of these candlelight services. They just cannot be better.
Speaking of movies, you were in a movie.
We were, and it was a Christmas movie.
It was a Christmas movie.
It was filmed in March, but Christmas in New Hope, a production company that has some Waco connections, brought in some of my favorite actors. Adrian Palicki, who played a character in Friday Night Lights.
Oh,
the
I know. I
series.
watched all
Amazing.
of that. I binge watched Friday Night Lights.
And so she has been in our church. It was a,
Isn't that
it was a
amazing?
holy moment.
Yeah.
And then from 30 Rock, a series with Tina Fey. Tina Fey's assistant, Liz Lemon's assistant, was played by Katrina Bowden, who played a character named Siri, and she's also in this movie. But it's a Christmas movie about, well, you know, you have to watch it to find out. But the Christmas Eve scenes were filmed at St. Albans.
Right, and of course it was shot here in Waco.
Yep,
The film, and
all filmed here.
it was screened last year.
That's
at
right.
the Waco Indie
And you
Film
can get it.
Festival.
I think it's available to rent on several streaming services.
Mm-hmm.
I know Amazon and I think possibly Apple TV.
Yeah.
You can rent
And
it as
so
well.
you made a cameo.
Yep.
And when we watched it, you were sitting like very close to me, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, there he is.
Yeah.
There he is.
And yeah, as a preacher, I hate being in the spotlight, so it was a very painful moment for me. But I will say, Christmas Eve at St. Albans is beautiful.
Yeah.
The songs, we don't try to do any newfangled Christmas carols. It's all the ones people know and love. And we have a tenor named Glenn Beals. Who
Oh, he's
sings.
fabulous.
He's amazing. He is touched in terms of his talent and gift for singing. And he, so we have two later services. We have two 3 p.m. services, one in the parish hall, one in the church. They are very family friendly. We bring out the characters of the nativity scene as we do the Christmas reading. Children help do that, and we sing Christmas carols. So those are both so simultaneously at 3 p.m., one in the church, one in the parish hall or fellowship hall. But then at 8 p.m., we have a service in the church. At 11 p.m., a service in the church. And those are kind of the more traditional ones. They are identical services, but before the 11 o'clock service, sort of the midnight mass service, we do have at 10:30 a Christmas concert where the choir, just for 30 minutes before the service, sings these beautiful songs of the season. And Glenn Beals ends that concert every year with singing "Oh Holy Night."
Oh, yeah.
And some of our members say that baby Jesus isn't born until Glenn Beal sings
Sings
"Oh
"Oh
Holy
Holy
Night,"
Night." I
and
can
this
hear
is
that.
the last year that he'll be doing it, at least at that hour. So,
Yeah, really.
mark your calendars.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
For
totally
sure.
fine. He's not leaving the church. It's just it's late to do that. So
No, I understand.
yeah.
I understand. So, this is a time of year that's so hard for people,
Mm,
though. Um, so let's talk a little bit
yeah.
about that and what you would say to someone who's maybe struggling with a loss or just the holidays don't bring joy to them.
Yeah, that is a great question. And it is, I think, true because we say it's the most wonderful time of the year. And yet, also, to quote Clark Griswold's wife in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, when she tells her daughter, it's Christmas, honey. Everybody's miserable. As I said, we're spending too much, we're eating too much, we're around family, which can be great or super stressful.
Or, yeah.
Or you're alone. And you
Hmm.
feel that everybody else has a family,
Yeah.
and if you've had a loss, and whether it's a recent loss or maybe it's a loss a long time ago, but Christmas can bring that back.
Yeah.
The movie Elf was written by a Jewish screenwriter in Hollywood because he missed his dad, who died when he was young, and he used to watch Christmas movies with his dad. He loved Christmas, and he wanted to create a movie about people connecting with a father and son movie, people connecting with people they love. And so I think at this time of year, when you feel that pain, when you feel that loss, when you feel like everybody's having a good time except for me, if you feel like George Bailey at the beginning of It's a Wonderful Life,
Right.
so common, I think there's a couple things. And what is right for one person may not be right for another person. But I think if you can, I think isolation and being alone is a place where if you're experiencing negative things, they almost get magnified and can grow. Silence and solitude can be good if you're a monk, but they can be not good if you're someone who's feeling grief and loss. And so being around people, safe people, loving people can be really good. And I think that's one of the joys of these Advent and Christmas services, whether it's St. Albans or another congregation, but a place where you'll experience love and grace, and there's all kinds of people there that also have issues. And I think in our community, at least, we are honest about that. We try not to present a fake front of we're Christians, so everything's perfect. We try to be honest about the human condition. And in our prayers, we name those things. It's not just a Care Bears sort of revival. It's getting real. So I think that is important to be with people. I think if you're in a place where you can serve others, I found that for folks to be really meaningful. We can hold the stuff that's hard for us. So we're not saying sweep that under the rug. But if you're able to, at the same time, find a way to serve others, that can be a way to, I think, maybe gain some perspective, to zoom out a little bit. If you are someone who can sign up to volunteer with an organization or donate to an organization, I think those can be meaningful ways to get through the season. But if you're the kind of person that needs to be on the receiving end of that, I think to say yes and to say you need help, and to sometimes people are too scared or ashamed to ask for help. But I think at this time of year, remembering that whether you believe in it or not, the story of Jesus being born as a baby is God putting himself in the place where he needs to be cared for. Jesus is born as a baby, as the story goes, and I believe it. But even if you don't, you can see how really miraculous it is that God would then need to be nursed and changed and lifted. Can't walk, can't sit up, can't talk, can't do any of these things, and it's a place of complete dependence. And so if you're someone who needs help, what better time of year to say, I need help, I need to depend on someone else than Christmas? So whether that's getting into therapy or whatever, or going to church, or gathering with friends and hanging out, or helping somebody else, I think those are all ways that you can, this is a great time of year to do those things.
Beautifully said. Yeah, that is right. We haven't talked about your podcast, though.
Oh,
We need,
yeah.
so we need
Let's
to
do
talk
a
about,
plug.
let's talk about your podcast. How can
Thank you.
folks see more of you besides attending St.
Podcasters
Albans?
helping podcasters. I love it. So I have a podcast called Same Old Song. We have a St. Albans podcast, which has all our sermons. You can find that on our website. But the podcast that I do is under the umbrella of Mockingbird Ministries, based in Charlottesville, Virginia. And in our podcast, a priest in New York named Jacob Smith and I get together and we talk about the readings for the upcoming Sunday. So if you are in the Catholic, Lutheran, Presbyterian, Methodist, Episcopalian, congregational traditions, you are on a lectionary system, meaning that every Sunday, the readings from the Bible that you read at church are the same. The same readings at all those churches. They change Sunday to Sunday, but we're all on the same plan. It's sort of like read the Bible in a year plan, but all these churches follow the same plan. So there's a reading from the Old Testament, a reading from one of the letters of the New Testament, and a reading from the Gospels.
Okay.
And so there are, thousands upon thousands of preachers every Monday that sit down and they say, I got to write a sermon this Sunday. And what they could be Catholic, Methodist, Episcopal, Presbyterian, but they're all looking at the same readings. Our podcast walks through those and helps, if you're a preacher, maybe give you some places to start your thinking about your sermon, some of the connections. We do some of the research for you, some of the illustrations that might help illustrate these texts. And if you are a layperson, usually you're just going to hear the sermon preached and the preacher can maybe address one of those passages. So this is a way for people to hear what are the rest of the passages about. And so we do that all in about 30 minutes. It is a hoot. So he's in New York, I'm in Texas. We talk about the Bible. And even if you're not someone who's in a lectionary-based church, if you just want to know more about the scriptures and really where the message of grace is in the scriptures, I think you'd get something out of our podcast.
And there's something comforting in knowing that uniformity, really, all across that aspect of Christendom.
Yeah, and I'll
that's
continue
cool.
to make a plug for it. I think one of the greatest things about that, not only is there unity, and it's not just national, it's global. And so the people that are reading the scriptures for the first Sunday of Advent, all around the world, in their own language, but the same text. And the other really wonderful thing about it, every year, which in the church year begins at Advent, so it's already our new year, each of these years, it's a 3-year cycle, you're going to do a different gospel. So we've just finished Luke, we're turning to Matthew, then it'll be Mark. So you walk through the life of Jesus every year in a different gospel. To me, it connects the continuity of the story in a way that's really helpful.
Oh, that's beautiful. You are just delightful. I'm so glad that you could spend some time during this busy time of year.
Thank
And
you.
I hear you do 5 services. You eat your Wheaties, I guess, early in the morning. So you
Well,
can...
yeah, 7:30 a.m., 9 a.m., 9:10 a.m., 11:15, and 5:30 p.m. And all that information is about our website. The 9, 11:15 are identical services, but the other 3 are a little bit different. So whatever your cup of tea is, we have our 9:10 service is in our fellowship hall, our parish hall, and it has a folk Americana band, same hymns and same service, but a very different vibe, very different feel. So if you're new to our tradition and stained glass and kneeling scares you, check out the 9:10. So, but because the 9 o'clock and the 9:10 are basically simultaneous services, and I have not yet been able to figure out how to be in 2 places at the same time, one of our other pastors will preach. We're sort of going back and forth. We share the load. So Garrett Lane is our other preacher right now, and so we share that.
Yeah, and of course, your organist is
No slouch.
unbelievably. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Eugene Lavery.
Eugene Lavery is an amazing
Native of New
organist.
Zealand, knows the capital of every country on the planet. You can quiz him next time you see him. Just yell Cameroon, and he'll tell you. Eugene trained at Juilliard and has a gift not just for playing the organ, but I think he's very theologically and scripturally minded. So he picks the readings to connect with what we're doing in the season, and the choir is incredible under his leadership. His wife, Sharon Lavery, Dr. Sharon Lavery, also a gifted musician and conductor of the choir. It's a really incredible group of folks. Ryan Flanagan is the one that does our 9:10 service, helps lead that service, and he's really a leader nationally for taking this kind of liturgical Anglican tradition and translating it, again, cross-cultural communication, into kind of that folk roots music of America. Guitars, banjos, harmonicas, all those sorts of things, just like Jesus
Kazoos,
played.
whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever
we'll take it.
whatever you
We'll
can
take
play.
it. Washboard,
Tambourines.
jug. Yeah.
Well, it is a delight. Thank you so much for spending time with us, and the best of the Advent season to you
Thank
and
you.
everyone there at St. Albans.
Thank you, and same to you. Thanks for having me on here. It's been a real blast, and I hope to do it again sometime.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And bring Lavery with you next
Yeah.
time too, and we'll quiz him.
Okay, sounds
That'll
good.
be great. All right, stay with us. There is more of the show ahead.
Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more.
What if you could clean clean? with bio-based formulas and deep cleaning enzymes. No dyes, phthalates, or mystery ingredients. Just powerful pods for your dishes and laundry. Now you can, with drops made clean, made to clean.
It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
Welcome back to the show. You know, it is Christmas time, and it wouldn't be Christmas without a Royce Montgomery show.
Or Ed Harder being a guest.
Listen,
Yeah.
and so I talked to you, and yes, sure enough, you've got, but it's going to be a cozy Christmas.
Cozy Christmas.
And kind of a
less people.
smaller venue.
Mhm.
This is going to be on the 20th, Saturday the 20th,
Yeah,
in downtown Waco,
that's right.
2201 Washington.
It'll be at the EG Realty Building facility. And Kirk Region is facilitator of that. So he's the owner of that. And so we decided to team up and kind of show off the building he remodeled, as well as have some Christmas cheer, have family come, and we have hors d'oeuvres and everything. And it's going to be great.
Yeah, just one performance.
One performance.
One
that's
show
all.
on the 20th, and this starts at 6:30, right?
Well, the doors are open at 6:30. You can
Okay.
get an opportunity to mingle around.
Right, and kind
We'll
of
have
tour.
food there, and then the show will start at 7.
Okay, so who all do you have performing?
Well, this is gonna be a cozy Christmas, so I'm going back using my daughter, Brittany Allen, Latoya Borjardine, and myself, and also you, Ann. I'm glad you committed.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be fun. You know, some of my favorite Christmas tunes.
Yes.
We'll be doing, and you've got some new folks that'll be
Yes,
appearing.
I've got a new musician. Matter of fact, I heard him on YouTube, and I was given his information, so I'm going to meet him personally tomorrow in Dallas. He graduated with Lionel Richie and the Commodores.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, he graduated Tuskegee, I believe, it's Alabama.
Right.
And so I heard him. I was like, man, you're good. So he happened to be available on that day. He just canceled another deal, and I called him in time. He said, I'll do it.
Good. So he's a keyboard singer.
Keyboard player, and
Does
I
he
think
s-
he went. I think he took music in college, and he was going to be a performance art. He was going to do like the Sinatra style music.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's what he does. He goes a lot of places around the Dallas area, Oklahoma, and everywhere else. And he played as a Delaney. They loved him so much, they kept his number and everything. They gave it to me. Said, Royce, you got to meet him. And I'm glad that I did.
Yeah. Oh, that's delightful. Going to be a wonderful evening. A cozy Christmas.
Cozy
We
Christmas.
may have to do a duet or something. You know,
Yeah,
we'll
hey, we're
come
going
up
to do Jesus, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's something about that
Something
name. Yeah, I
about
would
that
love that.
name.
Love that song.
Yes.
Well, it like I say, wouldn't be the holidays without
Yeah.
without a performance with Royce. And you know, you always pull together some really fun musicians. And last year we did
Oh,
a
wow.
big show at the Civic
Waco
Theater.
Civic Theater. Oh,
Civic
that was
Theater.
good.
That was loads of
I
fun.
liked all the performances, but I really was touched by when you did the song and the guy blew the flute. Oh, God.
Yeah, Christmas time is here.
Christmas time is here. And
Yeah.
then when you did I told somebody yesterday at EG Realty about it, that when you read the story about the little
Right.
kid, she almost started crying.
Oh yeah.
Well, and
Maybe
you know
we
what?
need to do that.
We need to do that.
Okay.
Because she said, Royce, you got me almost get ready to cry at Fox 44. I'm like, what?
Oh my goodness.
I just kind of gave her an idea what happened. She was like, God,
Okay.
we need to do that.
Let's
We
all
need
right.
to do that.
Okay.
We need to do that.
All right. Sounds like a
Yeah.
plan. Sounds like a plan. All right. So how can folks get tickets for
They
this?
could get tickets over at EG Realty. And that address again was what?
It's
2201
2201 Washington.
Washington. And you also can go to the Beauty Mart on Valley Mills. So we only got 2 venues where we get the tickets. But we have quite a few sponsors, and we thank God for them always supporting. And so that's how we're making it all happen. And this year we're going to give away coats and also blankets to people that are in need after the
So
show.
do folks need to bring to the show then?
If they want to bring
blankets
to the
and
show and
coats?
donate at that time, they
Okay.
can. It's a large enough facility where we can put those and we can
Good.
take them. And then a day or so after, we're going to deliver those before Christmas.
Okay. Awesome. That's great. In fact, I've got 2 in the car. I will give
That's
you
a,
as soon as
that's
we're
a
done here.
blessing.
Yeah.
Coats and heaters and blankets.
I
That's what
know
we.
this time of year, we've had a pretty warm fall up to now,
Oh, yeah.
but it's going to be cold. And for folks who don't have those basics, we got to be thinking about them.
Gotta have
Well, again, this is a cozy Christmas with Royce Montgomery and his band
Yeah.
of
It'd be like a
friends,
three-piece.
friends, yeah, at 2201 Washington at EG Realty.
And don't delay getting the tickets because, like I said,
So will they not be available at the door?
Yeah, they can get them at the door as well.
Okay.
But I spoke with EG Realty, and they've already got people asking about the tickets, and I haven't even
Okay.
printed them yet. So I know we're probably
And
gonna have a
it's a small venue.
small venue. So
right.
get your tickets now. You'll see Ann, myself, my daughters, and we might even sneak Mom in there.
Oh, that'd be great.
But you want to check this guy out that's going to do the keyboard for us. And then my grandson, Chosen Allen, he's going to be there. He plays keyboard now as well as drums.
Good.
And so that's going to be
I've
something
seen
that
him
you
grow
want to
up.
see. Oh, yeah, you sure are right.
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
yeah, yeah.
Well, it's great, and I'm so glad that you called and we were able to get this put together. Again, a cozy Christmas.
Let me give him a phone number. Can I give
Oh,
him my
yes,
phone
please,
number?
yeah.
It's 254-339-2222. If you want more information, I could talk to you on the phone, kind of give you an idea what we've done and what we intend to do.
Yeah, and I saw that you did something with Fox 44.
Yeah.
So,
mhm.
yeah, be checking them out
Yeah,
for more
mhm.
information about this performance again.
And that'll
One,
hit Friday.
okay,
on the
one
news.
performance only again, 6:30. Should be over about 9 o'clock
Oh, yeah, 9
on
o'clock. We're
December
out of there.
20th.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we're really, we're hitting the final stretch to Christmas.
Yeah, and one of our sponsors is a good friend, Chad Jones, and several local businesses around, as well as EG Realty. And then I took my car over to a place and had my window done, and that's oh, I forgot. I'm getting old, Ann.
not.
But
you're
anyway, it's off the circle. They
Uh-huh.
do glass windows and stuff like that. So
Very
I'll be
good.
doing for them
Well,
too.
we love those sponsors. So, all
Mhm.
right. Thank you so much, Royce.
All
Forward
right.
to it.
BadCreditLoans.com is a pioneering service provider that has carved a reputation in the financial industry. Simple, fast, and reliable loan application process. And its commitment to responsible borrowing makes it a trusted partner in the journey towards financial stability.
Natural Cycles identifies your fertile window by analyzing changes in your temperature. Just measure in the morning, add your temperature into the app, then learn which days you can and cannot get pregnant. It's that easy. Learn more at naturalcycles.com.
It's the Restore Clarity Focus Patch, my little secret weapon for staying sharp, focused, and on task. Each box comes with simple instructions inside, so you always know exactly how to apply it. Each patch lasts for 3 days. I love that I can wear it all day.
Launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. That's ULIKE.com. You like.
Boy, you looked effortless.
Man, watch this.
Layups, floaters, threes. He was like an unsolvable equation.
I was born like this.
His resilience, his strength, his belief, adversity never stood a chance.
Know your power.
Traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at bizchair.com to transform your business.
Experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
BosleyMD.com.
At Tusain's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Visit Tusains.com and start your journey to better health. It's TOUSAINS.com.
At Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat, we're proud to be your premier destination in Waco for exceptional automotive service. Whether you're searching for a new vehicle, a quality pre-owned car, or dependable service and parts, our team is here to take care of you every step of the way. Visit Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Waco, where great deals, friendly service, and your next ride are waiting. Come by, let's be friends.